Let's start with the southeast states, shall we? Torrential falls have been recorded in the past 24 hours there, as we've seen.
Lorna, good afternoon. Yeah, here are the 24-hour totals across the southeast. Now, along the south coast of New South Wales, we had some heavy falls last night. Quite a large area there, picking up more than 50 millimetres. Merimbula had one of the top falls, 110 millimetres. And that's been their heaviest January rain since 1987. And of course, there's that pocket of very heavy rain just along the Great Ocean Road. Mount Cowley, 186 millimetres fell in 24 hours, which is an all-time record for that weather station. It opened in the year 2000. However, in reality, most of that rain fell in just a few hours, which explains why the flash flooding was so severe. Also, there's been some moderate falls in the past 24 hours through the northeast corner of New South Wales. All right, let's have a look at some radars, find out where it is raining just at the moment. We've got severe storms around the mid-north coast of New South Wales, the risk of damaging winds, large hail and flash flooding. And we can see that since 9 a.m. we've had 12 millimetres at Kempsey. Let's go down the coast now. We're still seeing some fairly steady rain around the south coast of New South Wales and through parts of Gippsland, Victoria. Just inland from Maria, one of the rain gauges has picked up 60 millimetres already since 9 a.m. Now, there is a warning in place, a severe weather warning for flash flooding and damaging winds for today. From Wollongong down towards the south coast of New South Wales. In that zone, it's possible there'll be isolated 6-hour totals up to 120 millimetres. And there's also the risk of damaging wind gusts, particularly around the Jervis Bay region, along with the threat of coastal erosion, although it is expected that the weather conditions in this area will just ease back slightly by tomorrow, Lorna.
Well, yeah, tell me, Tom, what happens to that system as we move through the weekend?
Yeah, let's take a look at some forecasts now. We'll start with the rainfall over the next 24 hours. So what you'll see is the heaviest rain will just shift north up the coast as we move into tomorrow. So it's probably more the Illawarra and the Sydney region that will have the heaviest falls tomorrow. And since there's isolated thunderstorms in the mix, we could see just pockets of flash flooding. But you can see there's a fairly large part of eastern Australia where thunderstorms are possible. So here is the storm forecast. You can see they dissipate overnight tonight, our thunderstorms. Then they'll fire up again tomorrow. Severe storms are possible around the Illawarra and Sydney, again in the far northeast corner of New South Wales, perhaps some severe storms and isolated storms extending even through the southeast inland for tomorrow. Let's keep going now with the forecast rain, because this is a prolonged rain and storm event along the east coast. On Sunday, Monday and even into the middle of next week, we're looking at relatively heavy falls along the New South Wales coast, and over the next week, more than 100 millimetres is likely from Sydney down to the south coast. Some areas could even pick up 200 millimetres of rain. However, Lorna, it's still flash flooding that's the main threat as opposed to river flooding, and that is partly because the catchments are quite dry at the moment.
Gosh, that is a lot of rain, Tom. I want to talk about the tropics, because is there a possibility of a new tropical low?
Yeah, another cyclone is actually possible over the next few days. So if we look at the satellite, you can see, well, there's a massive thick cloud that's developed over the northwest tropics, and that's partly due to a tropical low that is forming across the top end, and a flood watch has been issued for that area. Here's the forecast rain. You can see heavy falls over the weekend. The heaviest rain, though, will move towards the west by the time we get to early next week, and that is because that tropical low will pop off the coast over the warm seas north of the Kimberley. As a result, there's a chance it could intensify into a cyclone, and in fact, by the middle of next week, this is Wednesday, the tropical cyclone strike probability exceeds 50% off the north coast of the Kimberley by the middle of next week. So, yeah, it's a pretty good chance we will see another tropical cyclone, although, Lorna, it is far too early to try and predict when or where that system will make landfall.
Certainly going to keep you busy, Tom. Thank you.